Welcome to the very first Ambassador Program Q&A with Robo Wunderkind. Most of you know me because you've run into me in a training or in some ongoing professional development, but my name is Jamie Guidry, and I am the Educator Success Manager and also newly the Community Manager for the Ambassador Program. I do have with me in the background Anouk Zisa, and she is our consultant that's supporting the launch of this program. So she'll be hanging out in the background and helping with some technology and helping us answer any questions that might come up along the way. So our objectives for this session are to really explain to you the goals of our program, describe what an ambassador does to help you build a better understanding of what those tasks are, but also the resources that we will provide to help you prepare. And of course, we want to kind of discuss, and this is something that would be two-way, what things we can do to make this program a success. And to determine, if it's a good fit for you. So I'm not going to read this verbatim, but if you could take a moment to skim through our program goals. I mean, ultimately, we want to empower tomorrow's problem solvers. And in order to do that, we're going to need help from our teachers across the country, in each state, in each region, right? We want to build a community of partnerships where we can inspire one another, inspire other teachers, right? Because that's at the core of what we do at Robo Wunderkind. We are looking for folks that will join our team to be the go-to expert on Robo Wunderkind and represent us in your district. So some things that you can do as an ambassador. We always love for you to highlight your work with Robo Wunderkind on social media. The reason is, as I mentioned, we want to inspire other teachers, right? And oftentimes what I've noticed is when one teacher posts some great project that they've done with their kiddos, I'm thinking specifically, we just launched our Halloween challenge right before that holiday. And I noticed teachers across different states chatting with one another and getting excited about what their builds might be. We do encourage you to showcase your students' work with Robo in your school. Create your own Robo lessons for the community. Showcase your experiences at regional or national events. Introduce Robo to new users. That's a big one. And advocate for STEAM and coding and robotics, in your general everyday. And something else that you'll be able to do is participate in our beta testing for new products as they come down the pipeline. That's really exciting. So I'm going to take a few of those things, not all of them, but just to dig a little bit deeper into those and what does that really look like? If you're deciding, hey, is this a good fit for me? Do I have time in my busy teacher schedule for something like this? I'm just going to highlight some of the things that you might do for each of those different tasks. So posting on social media, right? That's photos of you, photos of your students' builds, maybe anecdotal messages about STEAM or STEM, posting about upcoming Robo events that you're going to attend. For example, I have a young lady who will be presenting in New Mexico at an event, computer science for New Mexico. So then she's going to post a picture of herself and saying, hey, I'm going to, Robo's going to CS for NM. So that's another way that could look when you're posting on social media. Maybe you might post about upcoming showcases that you're going to have in your district using Robo Wunderkind. And the platforms that we typically use: LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and X, formerly Twitter. So whichever one really speaks to you, whichever one's your jam. I know some folks that use Facebook do not use Insta, or some that use Insta do not use Facebook. That's usually the case, right? So choose your platform. We will provide you with hashtags that you can use. I put a few here at the bottom, but we may send out a blast and say, hey, this is the hashtag we're using for this challenge, just for example. When you're showcasing Robo in your school, This could be at a STEAM night or some other event, a math and science night. This could not be on such a large scale. This might be you have a second grade class that's completed a project, and you invite the other second graders, or maybe the first graders, or maybe you're working with fifth grade and you have the younger kiddos come and do like a gallery walk, right, to see that work. Another way you can showcase, always email us your posts, your pics, right? When you post, especially if you post on your own district's page, right? We want you to share that with us. I have update task tracker here. We're going to ignore that for now. That will be something that will hopefully be developed later in the program, where you can, you'll be able to track your own tasks. Okay. Showcasing in your district. Again, this could be, I mentioned, in your school having a STEAM night. Maybe your entire district is having a STEAM night. A great example of this is Hour of Code. A lot of districts will have Hour of Code in their schools, but then they will have one larger event, right, for the district. So you'd want to have your Robo projects displayed at that type of event. Invite administration from the district to view those completed projects, right, in your school. And always, you'll see this on every slide, email us those pics, right, and post them. Maybe you are going to showcase at a Robo conference. I have one picture here. You may know, if you're in Iowa, actually she's well known across the country, Shannon McClintock Miller. She did a presentation at iTech for us, or with me, in conjunction with me. That's one way. You can also see some other teachers stop by the booth, and they were the folks walking around in the Robo t-shirts at the conference for us. The woman that I just mentioned that will be doing the event in New Mexico, she's going to hold a playground. So simply going to the event, bringing some robotics kits, and introducing folks, like kind of in a less formal manner, and they can just do hands-on play with Robo. As always, when you're doing a conference, we want you to announce that participation on your social and ours, right? And of course, what? Email pics and post. All right. One other way that you can be an ambassador is be a Robo coach for new users. Many of you are initial users, right, in your state or in your district. You are the experts. And so as we grow within your areas, it would be great to have ambassadors be those coaches, be that touch point. One of our main objectives as a company, as an organization, is to always be supporting teachers. What better way to have a Robo coach right in your region, right? So this might mean you're holding a training to introduce Robo to new teachers. Maybe you're, Susan, you are the computer science specialist, right? And maybe you have a first grade teacher that's like, hey, that looks cool, I'd like to learn. And then you can hold that training. You can conduct that training with the first grade team, just say, okay. Maybe you find that you have teachers that want to build their capacity. They're using Robo, but they're not as comfortable, and they need some support in just building that capacity and just feeling, that sense of self-efficacy in, implementing this tool in a specific lesson, right? So maybe you're coaching those current users. We would only ask that if you're going to be coaching, that you work with your educator success manager to ensure that that training and coaching agenda is airtight, and that it meets and stays aligned with the Robo standards and Robo branding. And last but not least, you're always going to email us pics and post. So as you can see, I think, there's lots of different ways to contribute. I'll continue with a couple of more examples, but ultimately it's just building that community and being the face of Robo, in your areas. One last thing I'd like to highlight is that you can eventually become a Robo content contributor. Oftentimes teachers will go into the STEAM Hub and they'll say, oh, I really like this lesson. I think I would love to do a lesson about this. And they're inspired to do something. You can not only submit ideas for new content or ways to differentiate, you can also create those things yourself. We will provide for individuals that are interested in that. We will provide a lesson plan template along with the classroom materials template. So you'll have that support as well. I talked about, introducing us to your administrators. This is Jen Edick, and she is in Bernalillo, New Mexico, and she held a meeting with her district administrators because teachers were feeling overwhelmed with integrating technology because of their very strict and scripted curriculum across ELA and math. And so she was able to hold a meeting with the whole district, including the superintendent, and say, hey, this is a tool I use, and this is how it benefits us. We do not expect you to do this on your own, right? Our goal is to continue as partners, right? As with our ambassadors. We would like to hold monthly meetups. This will be something that we will rely on your feedback and your input on when those occur, how frequently, but we would like to offer that opportunity for networking amongst one another. We will access our design team to help you with your posts and your presentations to make them look pretty. We'll give you, that person will help you make sure it has like Robo branding colors. Does it have to have Robo branding colors? No, absolutely not. We want those candid shots. But if you're doing something, a little more formal, of course, we can help you with the design aspect. You will also have support from myself, your community manager, to craft proposals. If you're going to an event and you're like, hey, I want to go to iTech next year and I'd like to be a presenter because this is going to look good on my resume. So I want to be a part of that, right? I can help you construct those proposals and give you the language that might be helpful in getting that proposal accepted. Okay, that's true also of emails, right? And other communications, whether it's to administrators to highlight your work or invite them to an event in your classroom. In another way, we will support you is we'll ask, hey, what do you need? We always want you to feel comfortable saying, Jamie, I'd really love to do this to, highlight our work with Robo, but I just don't have time to ... And we're happy to help in any way that we can. What's in it for you, right? I think that's always a question. There are some standard incentives when you think of most ambassador programs. We will always be looking for teachers to highlight, spotlight on our social media. We're going to actually provide each ambassador with digital badges. Those digital badges will reflect where you are in your ambassadorship, whether you're an advocate, whether you're a true ambassador, maybe you've become an influencer. So you'll have badges that you can, just add in your tagline at your signature on your email. So some folks really appreciate having that, right? Just like we add our, national board certification or something along those lines, you can have this badge that says, hey, I'm a certified, ambassador with Robo Wunderkind. There's another mention of points. Again, this is something that will come later, but it is a community. So I think it's really important to acknowledge one another's, special events, birthdays included. Some more tangible things, trainer supplies, anchor charts, markers, stickers, all of those things that go into you presenting at an event or you conducting a training in your school will support with those materials. When we look at the premium incentives, and this is when we're getting into some folks that are a bit more diligent in their participation. We'd love to offer monetary incentives. Sometimes this might look like a donors choose match, or asking for your Amazon wish list. Like, hey, can you just send me the link to your wish list? And we might take care of a few items for you. I mentioned earlier the beta testing, early access. Who doesn't want to be on the front lines of, for example, we mentioned AI integration. That is something in our product roadmap. So to be a part of that beta testing for AI in a K-5 product, coding and robotics product, that could be pretty major, right? So of course we will be inviting our strong advocates and ambassadors to participate in that. Another cool thing is virtual and in-person visits with Robo. Most times I remember in the classroom, we didn't have a whole lot of funding for field trips, or sometimes there was just a lot that went into planning a field trip. So you can also earn in-person and virtual Robo Wunderkind visits from our team members. Okay. Right. Here are some examples. These are not the finalized badges, but just some examples of badges that you might receive, whether it's, creating content. Maybe you are a leader in peer networking. Maybe you've held a webinar. Okay. Again, just an example of some of the badges. So if you are interested in becoming an ambassador, your next steps would be to complete your ambassador application. I will have a QR code at the end there, of the ambassador landing page, where you can go and you can do the apply now. If you are a person that has already applied because you either were a part of our testing last school year, or you were in our pilot over the summer, if you've already completed your application, we have your information. You don't need to do anything else. But what you could do just is confirm. Shoot me an email. Yes, Jamie, I'm still interested. Okay. But if you have not done that, complete your ambassador application. We will then send you your digital badge. Your first task would be to add that digital badge to your email signature. And your second task would be to create your first post and announce your role as an ambassador. We are in the beginning phases, so I'm going to now invite everyone to the Wonder Teacher community if you're not already there. Okay, that's this QR code, and turn it over for questions. So if you have questions that are not answered on the ambassador landing page, or that I have not answered here in the presentation, I invite you to email me at jamie@robowunderkind.com. Most of you, again, have my email address. I'm going to go ahead and stop recording now to take questions from our participants that are with us. But before I do that, I'm going to share this QR code. If you already know, yes, I want in, feel free to go ahead and scan this QR code. This is the actual app to the landing page as well. Takes you right into all about our ambassador program.
Okay, Jamie, so